Democrats have been attacking the Second Amendment for decades, the First Amendment for the past several years now, and now they want to go after the Fourth Amendment. Hello and welcome to Sweet Home California. My name is Jennifer. Please take a moment to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video on other platforms to get the word out about yet another federal overreach that is hidden in the $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill. Thankfully, more reports are coming out on the Biden effort to turn banks into IRS police investigators, and there is starting to be pushback, but we need to be more vocal to make sure that this bid is ended. So what is being proposed for the banks is that they're going to be required to report to the IRS annually, like a W-2 form or a 1099 form, the total amount of deposits into and withdrawals from any bank account with a balance of at least $600 at any time in that reporting year. I know I've seen reports that have said transactions of $600 or more would need to be reported, kind of like how the current law is that transactions of $10,000 or more have to be reported too. Nominally, it's to stop gang and terrorist activity, but that is incorrect. The $600 threshold isn't on the individual transaction, but on whether or not the total balance in the account was at or above $600 at any time during that year. If you received a stimulus check and nothing else, your account would qualify. This is a huge breach of the Fourth Amendment, which I'm going to go ahead and share with you here. The Fourth Amendment reads, "The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue, but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized." Now, Biden tells us this is just to be sure that the wealthy pay their fair share in taxes. Let me play a clip. I did speed it up a little bit because Biden talks, but you'll be able to get the point here. Moment.
That isn't happening now. Today in this country right now, the top 1%, for example, evade an estimated $160 billion in taxes that they owe each year. Not new taxes, taxes that they owe. And the way it works is this. If you're a typical American, like I suspect most of the press people sitting in front of me here, you pay your taxes. Why? Because you get a W-2 form. It comes in the mail every year. The IRS gets that information as well. Your taxes get deducted from your paycheck, and you pay what is owed beyond that. That's why 99% of working people pay the taxes they owe. But that's not how it works for people with tens of millions of dollars. They play by a different set of rules, and they're often not employees themselves. So the IRS can't see what they make and can't tell if they're cheating. That's how many of the top 1% get away with paying virtually nothing. It's estimated by serious economists that that number is about $160 billion collectively owed each year that doesn't get paid. It's not an even playing field. My plan would help solve that. For example, it would give the IRS the resources it needs to keep up with the lawyers and accountants and the super wealthy. It would ask just for two pieces of information from the banks of these folks: the amounts that come into their bank accounts and what amounts go out of their bank accounts, so that the wealthy can no longer hide what they're making, and they can finally begin to pay their fair share of what they owe. That isn't about raising their taxes. It's about the super wealthy finally beginning to pay what they owe, what the existing tax code calls for, just like hardworking Americans do all over this country every tax day. Look, and like I said just a few minutes ago, 55 most profitable corporations in America paid zero in federal income taxes on what amounted to $40 billion in profit. Not a penny. That's not right. My economic plan will change that. Not punish anybody, just make them pay their fair share.
Make them pay their fair share. All right, but did you notice the key takeaway there I saw or heard is that the reason we're doing this is because the top wealthy 1% who make about, I think that 1% threshold is around $500,000, $550,000 a year, might be avoiding, because he said experts tell us. So this isn't even hard and fast. This is a might be avoiding paying $160 billion in taxes because they underreport their non-W-2 income. That's why we're doing all of this. Why is the threshold at $600? And if the hope for gain in taxes is $160 billion, is it worth spending half of that? $80 billion is what is going to be in the bill to give to the IRS to help enforce this. So for every dollar that they spend, they hope to make one, and makes no sense. That does not seem like a good return on your investment. It's often said that you have nothing to fear if you are following the law. The problem is that it's also been said that the average American commits 3 felonies a day unknowingly because our laws are so complex, they are non-commonsensical, and often they're unknown. And the IRS has plenty of history of being weaponized against political enemies. Remember the Lois Lerner debacle regarding the Tea Party conservatives? They had wanted to form 503c groups to raise money for the 2010 midterms to challenge Obama's control of the House and the Senate. Their applications were stonewalled or outright denied, and many of the applicants found themselves audited as well. I'm sure it was just a coincidence. So, anyhow, back to the $80 billion price tag for enforcement. That doesn't include the cost of compliance for those that are affected. The banks will have to develop software and hire more people to comply. Smaller banks likely won't be able to absorb those fees as well as the bigger banks, resulting in more consolidation and more of these too big to fail scenarios. And worse service will result for small communities. And this is where a lot of the pushback is coming from, is that finally the banks are hearing about this. And I've seen a lot of news reporting that's coming from the banks, alerting everybody that this is what's coming. But they're not the only ones that are going to have to absorb costs from this bill. American taxpayers will no doubt need to hire more professional preparers and spend more time preparing their taxes, as they need to account for every dollar, every cent in their bank account above and beyond their W-2 wages. And it's not just the banks that the IRS will glean information from. Increasingly popular services like PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, they're also going to be required to report. And you will have to prove that the extra funds in your account aren't from an illegal side hustle. I'll put some links in the description with some more details, as well as a link to help you contact your federal representatives so that you can let them know how opposed you are to this overreach. Please keep praying, America. God bless you, and I'll talk to you next time. But please share this recording. A lot of people who still don't know about it. There's a lot of people who think that it's a $600 per transaction threshold instead of it being a $600 account balance. This is going to affect every single American. I can't even think of somebody who, because of the stimulus, didn't have at least $600 in their bank account at some point in this year. So spread the word, Patriots. And again, God bless, and I will talk to you next time.